The Mummy, starring Tom Cruise, is directed by Alex Kurtzman and written by, hang on, I need to read all these names because I cannot remember them all. 6 different people. 6 different people. David Crowe, Christopher McQuarrie, Dylan Kosman, John Spates, Alex Kurtzman, and Jenny Lumet. 6 people who all came together to write this gigantic, muddled, tonally wrong piece of shit. Now, you might be asking yourself, but Dave, it's The Mummy. It's Tom Cruise. It's action adventure and a little bit of horror. How can you go wrong? I asked myself the same thing, and turns out it can go horribly wrong. So before I get into Tom Cruise Mummy, let's go back for a minute to Brendan Fraser Mummy and try and figure out why that worked so well. So the first Brendan Fraser Mummy is great. You know, it's kind of a silly adventure romp with a bit of heart, bit of action, bit of humor. And it just works because it knows what it is. It knows that it's this kind of silly, absurd, goofy adventure movie. It didn't take itself too seriously. People could have a good time with it. If you're going to do a movie about a mummy, you either need to go that direction, or you probably want to, if you want to do something a bit darker and a bit more serious, you need to make it more of a horror film almost, kind of like a apocalyptic horror film. The problem with Tom Cruise Mummy is that it tries to be both of those things. It tries to be silly, kind of humorous, and then at other times it tries to be dark and mysterious and scary and adventurous and actiony and explosions, and then dark and drama and serious, and then action and humor and explosions. It doesn't work at all. It's constantly tugging on different directions, and what you get is just a muddled mess. And I was just bored throughout this whole thing because the scary parts weren't scary, the action parts weren't really that actiony or engaging, and then at the center of it you've got Tom Cruise, who it's just a weird choice of movie for him to be in. I can understand him wanting to get in on the whole cinematic universe, cash cow like every other studio is doing at the moment, because I'm sure he would have scored himself a fresh back-end deal for not only The Mummy, but any continuing dark universe movies that would come after this. But given how bad Mummy has flopped, I can't imagine that the success of their universe is really off to a great start, or if even we'll see any more movies. I mean, I know they've got The Invisible Man lined up with Johnny Depp, but who sees Johnny Depp movies anymore? I know I don't. Am I in the minority there? I don't think so. But anyway, apart from those general problems of the script and the pulling direction of the thing, Tom Cruise's character just kind of floats between scenes, doesn't really have too much to offer. I mean, I love Tom Cruise as an actor. He is someone who really dedicates himself to each role that he does. He really puts himself out there. He does as many of the stunts as he can, sometimes stunts that are just bonkers, like going up the side of the Burj Khalifa or hanging himself off the side of a flying airplane. He's a maniac, and I kind of love it. I love seeing an actor that does that sort of intense physical work. And so that's why I really respect him as an actor, and normally he makes pretty decent choices with his movies. But The Mummy is just really out of left field for him. There's just bad cliche stuff in this, like the first time we're introduced to the female lead of the film, it's her and Tom Cruise bickering about a one-night stand that they had a couple of days ago, and then they argue about how long he lasted in bed. Haven't we got past that sort of level of script writing for female and male characters? I mean, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like the script was written in the 90s and not produced until now. Semi-little spoiler here, but it's at the end of the movie and Tom Cruise is battling against the mummy. She's throwing him around and she's trying to get him to do something with this dagger or whatever. She's got him by the neck and she's like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna listen to me. You're gonna do the thing that I want you to do. And he takes that opportunity to give his kind of big hero moment line of defiance. And his line is, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work out. It's not me. It's you. What? There were cliches throughout the whole film, but that line as your big kind of moment of turning the tide in the movie? It's weird to hear these horribly off-tone one-liners come out of Tom Cruise's mouth. But it's also particularly bad because in these moments where he has these funny lines, the moments leading up to it have otherwise been action drama scene, serious, and then a little bit, and then Tom Cruise spouts out a one-liner, and it just does not work whatsoever. So that's why I think you've either got to be your goofy Brendan Fraser or your more kind of horror style. I would actually love to see a horror version of The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I think that would be pretty fucking cool. But, you know, studios got a studio and investors got to make money and they got a target audience and cliche in the movies and box office and...
You can't run. You can't escape. She's got plans for you.
Tom Cruise Mummy. I would give it a 4 out of 10. If you haven't seen it and were planning on seeing it, I would advise don't. So, I hope you liked my review of Tom Cruise Mummy. If you liked the video, please share it, and otherwise I'll see you again soon. Cheers!